The sounds of Ojaveda. A land with feline people. Hello, good evening. Let me see, where am I? Where am I? Wait. Ah, yes. I think I'm here. Hello. We have a picture of the day. We have a picture of the day. Okay, so we pretty much finished the help system yesterday, and which is very good. I think we did it in a very quickly. I was expecting that to take more time. Actually, in terms of number of hours, it was quite some hours because I did like 6 or 7 or 8 hours on Sunday, and pretty much the same on Saturday. So it's been quite some work, but we have it now. I was trying to just add some commands and some information, but I think it would be very nice if someone else can help me to to fill in this text. I mean, it's just text at the end, right? So I filled in the help GM, and the help GM seems to be good. I just wanted to remove, I think I want to remove this GM commands branch. I think it's not really important, because we actually have a title which is GM branch, you know, at the top. So I can probably go here and remove remove this branch here. And what I want to do, I also want to have the player commands, right? The player commands are let me see, because here we finish, and then there is sketchy, screenshot, chat log, character description, books, files. I think pretty much it finished here. And these are all the player commands, and I want to put these player commands into a separate file. Right? So until where? Let me see. Guild. Wow, this player command list is insane. Is absolutely insane. Wow. Commands. I think it starts here. Right? It starts there, and I think we can copy. I think we can copy this whole thing into our content data help, right? And this will be help chat, yes. And I think we can basically substitute everything with the difference that I think we will remove one branch at the top and one branch at the bottom. And then we have to substitute okay. Okay, let's see if this works. Now the rest of the help file, I think I will ask maybe Wadjet if he's so kind to help. What about the screenshot and the possibility to make some video with in-game commands? No, you should do it with I mean, screenshot you can just press print screen and that's it. But no, we don't support video or screenshots at the moment. I think you can just do it with Windows, so it's probably easier. Videos is not that easy. But I'm not. I mean, this is really an extended functionality, right? At the moment, I don't care much. We need to have the game, you know, the game working more than. Okay, so yeah, chat command. Okay, so you see that here you have your alliance. You have your. I don't know why alliance is here again, but fine. The emote list, now these commands may not all be available in Unreal, right? But I think the majority are there. I think really the majority of these commands are working in Unreal. I don't know why the first element is always a bit bigger. You see, it is like larger than the others. But I think it's good. So we have the GM commands. Maybe they can be grouped. No? Bah, maybe not. Okay, and then we need to do progression, interaction, and start here. So these three needs to be created. And I will see if someone wants to help on that, right? Okay, good. The good news is that I fixed the good news is that is Magic Light strong enough? Oh, maybe yes. The good news is that is it fading or what? No. I find out the problem with the NPC. I think we need some street lamps, by the way. I think it's impossible that a city does not have street lamps, right? We need more street lamps. I think there are too few. I mean, like all this part, it should be fully lit by the city. But anyway, so I find out why we were having some collision, right? Some collision on the NPC, and now we don't have the collision anymore. So I fixed it. I definitely fixed it. How does it go already? Yeah, you see, before this guy was having collision on both weapons, right? But if I show collision now, you see that it doesn't. Now I don't know if you can really see it, but basically around the weapon you would see some purple lines, and now they are not there, right? And also I can go through him without any issues. Now it would be interesting to see if this is also fully server side, but I would say, for what I can see, it seems the answer is yes. Like I don't collide with him in any way. Now I can do that, but yeah, it seems that he's not. Okay, he's not. So that problem is fixed. If you ask me why it was doing that, well, it was doing that because actually I was sending Weapon twice, even if I didn't realize it, but I was sending the weapons 2 times, and so some of our NPC, mainly the one loaded dynamically, had the same weapon in the hand twice. Is the magic like growing with your skill? Yes. I think there is a way to put more power into it, but you can channel more power, and I think that you may do more light based on how much power you are pumping in. Do you want to see my previous mail? Look at this. Easy. Easy. By the way, this part is not resizing with the overall, but I think it's okay. I think it's fine. Okay. So we would like to continue with the auto-generated event, right? The random generated events, I think. I need to understand what I want to do with those, right? The first thing I want to fix is the name. You see that the name gets generated but is not capitalized, right? So the first letter is lowercase, and the first letter here also, the last name is lowercase. I don't know why that happens, because in theory we have a capitalized... I think we have a capitalized function. No. I think there was a get random name. The get random name. Let me search it, because we do it properly for players, so it should, in theory, should work also for. Generate name. No, it's not generate name. Strange. Request validate name. Request validate name. No, there was also the generation, no? Receive name validation. Probably generation is done on the client. Possible. Very possible. I want to fix it because it's annoying to see a name that is lowercase. Okay, let's launch the editor and see. Perhaps adding an NPC torch starter for the night. You can buy torches, I think, in many places. But yeah, maybe we could have a place where you can find torches. There can be a Chinese shop selling you cheap torches. Okay, so I don't need that anymore. I don't need this anymore. I don't need this anymore. So let me see how we do the generation of the name, because the generation of the name, I think is probably done client side at this point. Yeah, I think so. So UI, main menu, character creation, race, Yes, suggest a name. This is the button that does the generation. So let me see. Random generation. Controller generate name. Exactly. Controller generate name and is calling a function in game mode. Ah, okay. Ah, here it is. Capitalize string. Capitalize string. We have it in plain shift player controller. Okay. We have things a bit all over the place, but it's fine. So it seems the capitalize is actually why I cannot find it? Why? Oh. Capitalize string. Ah, because it's a blueprint. Oh, really? Okay, that's fine. Okay. So, okay, so we have to do it in C++ and that's easier. Okay, so we just take so where is the NPC generation? I think is under random event. Yes, inside random event we will probably have a first name and last name generation, no? Random event, no. Probably is under random event manager then. Random event, first name. First name, NPC name, first name, last name, NPC last name. Randomize the name, NPC random. Generator. Generate name. Okay, perfect. So after the generate name, I think we can capitalize it. Now here we are not capitalizing, huh? No, we are not. Okay, so to capitalize, we just need to uppercase the first letter, right? We need to uppercase the first letter. So the way we do it in Blueprint is just with two upper of one string and then we chop it, right? And then we chop it on the side. And we chop it, we right chop one. Yeah, so I think we can do the same. So I think we can do first name, right chop one, so which is basically taking, return the string to the right of the specified location, counting forward from the left, right? So it's removing everything except the thingy. And then we do first name of, can I do first name of 0? I don't know if I can. No, get char array. There is a returning what? Array of tchar. So I can get the first one, and can I two upper of this? No, huh? What is the easiest way to upper a character? Actually, in the blueprint we were getting get character array from string, yes, and we were getting this and we were converting it to a string. So I think there is no other way, boys. I think we need to I think we need to do this. No? I can't. I cannot get data. Can I get data of 0? No. How do I get the first character of a string? I don't want to substring. I mean, I can substring, but sounds stupid to substring if this is already an array, no? In theory, it's get char array, but then when I have char array... Okay, let's just substring, fuck it. I can left of 1, right? And then just 2 upper of this. Okay, that's probably easier. So this one should not change the string, but should return the string. Yes. So I can do that. So in reality, I can just do first name equal to first name last 2 upper plus first name right chop of 1, right? So I think that this will give me what I want. Yeah, probably yes. Probably yes. And we do the same with the last name. And we say capitalize first and last name. Hello, Marcelo. Hi. An NPC will go everywhere in town and nightfall and start the light on the wall. Ah, that would be nice. That would be nice. To have someone that is like turning on the light in the city. Yeah, in theory, medieval times it was like that. So that was exactly the way it was working. But I don't know if it's, you know, a bit overkill, but I think it would be nice to see. It would be nice to see an NPC going around and turning on the lights. That would be very nice. But I think it's quite some effort. Maybe we will do it in the future. Okay, let's see if now my names are correct, so they are properly capitalized, which is good. Is loading. There's always night. Always night. I don't know, maybe we will have the night less less dark. I mean, I have night vision, but maybe I can use night vision. But if it's during the day... Okay, let's see if this guy generates, and he actually generates with the proper name. I think it's good. Hello. Yes. Now his name is uppercase. Wesesir Waikare. Wesesir Waikare. Typical lemur name, huh? Very, very typical lemur name. You see, it's going around. Easy. Look. It's going around easy. Okay, so I think we are good with that. He's greeting and moving away. Yeah, there is no pause between the start of the greet animation and the start of the next waypoint. So actually we should probably pause for 2 seconds. Okay, one thing that I wanted to do, but I don't know if it's actually working today. In our old system, right, we had a way to actually stop the NPC. So you could basically speak with the NPC while he's moving, and he considers it a perception, and so is stopping to speak with you, right? And I don't know if I want to do it the same or not, but yeah, I think I want to do it the same. I just don't know if I want to do it now or not. Okay, let me see 1 second what I want to do. What else I want to do in this generated event, right? We want to do the skilling group, huh? The skilling group, I think, is a good idea. As a prerequisite. Because at the moment we have a prerequisite which is skill, but we don't have a prerequisite which is skilling group. That could be one piece to develop. Let me see. Random encounters 5. Random encounters 5. So create a timer based on events. Spawn the actual NPC and activate their brains. Set race, set name, set traits. Set equipment item, set loot. Set loot, I think we do it. Set KA, randomize race, randomize name, randomize trade. So all of that is done, but I think that we have wait, I think we have another piece. I think we have another piece on that, which is we can set the NPC as invulnerable, right? Yes, we have an invulnerable flag. We have an invulnerable flag. So check if the NPC doesn't respond on that. Add fade in and fade out transition. Generation of sound. Check other animation. Move between points. Auto aggro. Yeah, I think set the loot is done. I think set the loot is done. Wow. That's too big. That's still too big. Okay. This one I think is done because we did it. In addition, we also did impervious, right? So our NPC can be not attackable. Impervious. This is done as well. There is another flag that we have. And now we cannot generate sounds or music, right? At the moment it seems that we cannot. NPC talk. We can set the variables though. That's why it's bigger, because he has a scale of 1.5. That's why that Klyros is so tall. Let me try a scale of 2, see what happens. I'm not 100% sure that it's working, huh? But we can see. The scale. The scale can be useful for monsters. I think that for normal NPC will not be very... But still, we can generate, you know, a special one that maybe is a bit taller than the others and is running around the city. I think in that case we will not randomize the name. I think we will probably use a fixed name, whatever is the one that we want. By the way, I have no idea if the randomized name is checking for existing player names. That I don't know. That I have no idea. Okay, the guy will spawn here soon. Maybe a random generated character could be upgraded to an NPC by some interaction. What do you mean by upgraded to NPC? They are NPC. I mean, they are full NPC. So in theory, they can do everything another NPC can do. So they can fight, they can cast spells, they can sell, buy, speak. I think the only thing that they cannot do is give you a quest. Because quests are preloaded. I mean, it's slightly bigger, but I don't think that is... Do you think this guy is twice as what he should be? I don't think so. It doesn't look like the scale is 2. I mean, he's a bit taller than me, yes, but I don't know if this scale is properly applied. Variables, let me see. I mean, it's not super important, but I think it would be nice to have it. Randomize event, NPC character variables. Yes, NPC character variables. So in reality it is red. And let me try current block. Variables. Load variables from array. Character variables add. Yeah, this one seems to add the variables in, but for example, the one of scale, right? The one of scale doesn't look like is actually used properly. It does not look like it's used. Because 2 times, you know, it will be super big. I mean, we can try again without a variable, but... Scale value 2. So the sides... in theory, in the standard load, so here... Load variables. Character variables add. But this one is only storing the variable, is not using the variable. Wait a second. Scale the model using the base scale in race info plus any buff variable is already replicated by the engine to all clients. Set race morphed scale. On rep change scale. Hey, but this one get scale. I think this one we don't do it in the get race info scale value. Get scale value. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so now this piece is a good piece, but it seems that we are not doing it in our dynamic load. Okay. In our dynamic load, right? So inside of this, let me see if we have scale. Because probably we changed it after. Okay, I see. Okay. Okay, now I think the scale will be working. But I need to recompile everything. But I think that we were really not doing it in case of... We were not doing it in case of randomly generated NPC. Did we say that we did, or... In pervios. I typed it wrong. Scale. Hopefully scale will work now. Hopefully. Let's see. We just need to wait a recompile. Okay, it recompiled. Do we want to use 2? 2 seems a bit too much, huh? Let's do 1.5. 1.5 is already a lot, really a lot. But I need to restart the server now that I changed that. Yeah, one of the beauty, you know, of our current engine is that when you have developed something, we can really reuse it everywhere, right? And it is very, very nice. I only have a problem with morphing, but because I mean, we need to basically recreate the world character. Okay, let's see. Now we should have a pretty big human. I mean, like, it should be very tall, like 3 meters or so. I mean, depending on which race pops up, but depending on the race, we can have And obviously we can scale up and scale down. Now there is a full scale, so it will also be larger, thicker. You know, it's not only a vertical scale. Yeah, exactly. Okay, there is our new human. Hello, human. You look pretty big, huh? Holy moly. Kind of scary. Yes, now the speed of walking is the same one of a normal human. So in theory it looks like he's walking slower, right? Because he's a bigger character. But yes, we can do scale now, which is nice. Okay. Now okay. So we have scale. We missed the skilling range for a group of players. So this could be useful if you want to spawn a very special events, like you want to spawn a boss only if there are a certain amount of players around, right? And I think we already have a prerequisite for number of players, but I don't think we have... Wait a second. We have a prerequisite for... do we have a prerequisite for number of players? That's a good question. Ah, yes, it's here. It's minimum player, maximum players. Yes. Minimum player, maximum players. So in addition to that, we would like to have a skills in range. Now, skills in range. So if I want to add this one, I think I will have to add it as a new quest prerequisite, which will be used only for random generated events, right? So I need to go and check prerequisite OP. I think we have yeah, check prerequisite exactly. I think they are all child of PS Quest prerequisite OP. If I remember right. Yeah, it's very similar to skill, so we need to create something that is like skill. But it needs to be skills in range. Yes, they are nearly full NPC already, yes. Okay, let's copy this because we will have to modify it and adapt it. So we will also have to document it somewhere, so no, otherwise skills, let's say skill in range. Is skill or skills? I think we can I think it's skill in range. Skill in range. So the given skill level is required to be between min and max for this operator to be true. No, let's say, wait a second. Let's say this is used by random generated events. Checks in range. Also I have to add the range because it can be we may decide how big is the range. If the given skill level is available between all players in range. Checks if checks if the given skill level is available between all players in range. Exactly. So it's basically the sum, okay? So it's summing up a skill. So for example, you may say this monster triggers if we have at least... Yeah, the problem is, do we want to specify the skill as well? Or do we just want to say that that they have collectively that amount of skills? That's a good point. Huh? In theory, I may use both. I may use skilling range sword, or I may use overall skill, right? So if skill is specified, then only that skill is summed up amongst all players. Otherwise we sum up. Otherwise, the total will be the sum of all skills. I don't know if it really makes sense though. Like we are saying that because you know the sum of all the skills is basically representing the player power in our game, right? So if you have 10 in sword, 50 in shields, you know, and 20 in crystal magic, your character has 80 total skills. So his power is kind of 80, right? This is what I'm trying to say, right? That the sum of all his skills is pretty much his power, right? I think, by the way, will be good to have this information somewhere. I think I may be using this information already with the loot randomizer. How do I do it in the loot randomizer? Because the loot randomizer, in theory, is already aware of the power of the player. I don't know. Let me see, because there was a reasoning here. There was a reasoning. No. I think it was like a total maximum cost. Yeah, max cost, exactly. Exactly, max cost. So we are randomizing based on a maximum cost. Randomize item maximum cost. Yes. Randomize item message quality. What? Nah, there is another randomizing. Max cost. Exactly. Calculate modifier cost cap. You see, so this one is the cap that we apply. Okay, let me check. Ah, it's done in a script. Okay, it's done in a script, but it's really not the overall power. You know, I think it will be good to have a way to consider the overall power of a character. Modifier cost calc. Modifier. Loot modifier cost cap. Loot modifier. Progression event or math script? No, math script. Math script. Loot modifier where name like loot. Loot modifier cap. The script has to be integrated with the following var given to the server: max HP and max mana. Physical, mental, stats, physical, mental. Is using the sum of the. Is using the sum of the stats. It can be a way, can also be a way, but I don't know if that's the best way actually. So the way we do it there is that we do the sum of all the stats, right? The sum of all the base stats, or the base stats, I think. Which is also a possibility. I'm thinking. So if you have a random event, right, and you want to configure that event to trigger only for players that have a certain power, right? So that they collectively, in the team, they should have that amount of power. How do we define this power? We sum up all the skills, or we select the sum of, for example, combat and magic skills. They say that depends a bit on the event. Depends a bit on the event. I think, what would be the best? The best would be to make it a bit flexible so that we can use it in many different ways. So maybe instead of just calling it skilling range, will be nice to have powering range, right? Power, or overall power. Overall power, overall skill. I don't know, skills in skill in range, or player rank, or rank in range, right? So where we sum up ranks of stats, skills, a specific skill, or maybe we can call it rank in range. Let's try to call it ranking range and see how it goes, okay? So I think we need an operation mode, right? So the operation mode can be by stat, can be by skill, can be by overall, right? So I think we need an operation. Yeah, we need a way to operate, and so I think there will be an int mode, right? And mode will be I think will be equal to 1 So specifies a skill to check will sum up all ranks in range of that skill, right? So we can do that. Then there will be a mode 2, which is the sum, for example, of all physical stats, right? Will sum up all physical stats in range. A mode 3 that will sum up all mental stats in range. And then this will not be very easy to test, huh? I guess I'm stuck on the stair. Let me see. Yes, I am. Hula is also stuck on the stairs. I don't know. In theory, we could also have one specific stat, right? So that there is enough intelligence. Now the question would be, why you would ever do that, right? Why you would ever do that? And there can be a mode 4, you know, which is the sum will sum up all ranks of all skills, right? And maybe a mode 5 I think physical and mental should go together, by the way. I think physical and mental can just go together. I think it doesn't make a lot of sense to have them separate. So I think is all physical and mental stats, all ranks, or kind of everything, right? But everything, I think we are mixing apples, and now would be nice. Maybe to sum up only the combat skills. We could, we could have a mode 4 where it's summing up all ranks of combat skills, where combat skills are defined as weapons, armor, and magic, right? In theory. Weapons, armor, and magic. So based on this mode, you know, this operator will work differently. I think it should be fairly easy to do. Now, my suggestion will be probably to cache these values, because otherwise we will have to scan all the players in range. Yeah, but I think it's okay, because we do it only once when the events start to be generated. So I think it's okay. I think it's actually a good. I think it's actually a good operator. I think it's actually a good operator. Yeah. In theory, we should create 4 prerequisites, right? But I don't think I care. I don't think I care. I think we can okay, I think it's good. I think it's good. I think it's a good idea. I think it is a good idea. I think it is a good idea. So what do we need? We need the skill to check in case we are using mode 1. We need the minimum and maximum of that skill in case we are in mode 1 as well. Yes. We need the minimum and maximum of the sum up of all. So we can reuse this minimum and maximum in all the other modes. In mode 2, mode 3, or mode 4, right? And store if it would allow the buff to be taken into consideration. Okay, that's also very good. That's also very, very good. So in reality is identical to the previous one with the addition of mode, right? With the addition of mode. So we will have our int mode, and in theory this should never be done this way, right? Otherwise it will tell us that we are shadowing the variable, no? Maybe. I think I changed them all. I didn't, huh? I thought I changed all the shadowing, but you see, stands. Maybe it's not a problem when you do it this way. Interesting. Okay, so we will have the check. Convert the prerequisite operator to an XML string. I don't know exactly why we need this, but probably if we want to print it out. Okay. This is good. So we have this guy. Now we need to implement it though, because for now we didn't do much. We just created the declaration of it. But we can go here. And we can copy this guy, and we will change it pretty dramatically, but we will change it pretty dramatically. Okay, and our guy will be wait, in range. Yes, in range. All the rest is the same, huh? Yeah, all the rest is the same. All the rest is the same. Okay. Wait. Character. Character. Yes, our prerequisite are that's interesting. Because actually we will have to decide a range, so we will do a range around that character, I think. Which is good and bad, but because our prerequisites are working on a specific character. So if I go, let me think about this. If I go, when I'm generating the random event and I'm doing the skill check, right? We are checking for player proximity. No. Not here. Not here. I think he's inside. Is inside random event. Random event. Schedule next. Schedule next. PS random event timer event. Yes, exactly. UPS PS random event timer. What is this timer? Ah, is it a timer trigger? Okay. Yes, the prerequisite. Here it is. So check the prerequisite. At least one player should have the right prerequisite. Yeah, exactly. So we will have to change a bit this part, because at the moment what it's doing is checking all the players in range. There is a kind of a proximity, right? That is not very easy, because we will have to check. Wait a second, it's only one prerequisite per prerequisite. Why we assume there is only one prerequisite? Because in theory there can be multiple prerequisites, no? Yes, I think it's already working with multiple ones. I think it's already checking, because if you have multiple prerequisites, they get grouped by an and or prerequisite. So actually, now I think that my issue is that if I do it this way, I will check multiple times, right? I will check multiple times. That's very annoying, because every player in range will do the check, and so assuming that they all fail, I will redo the check all the time for all the players. And in case of our skilling range, you know, that's not so maybe we should force the player in range to be the only one. Yeah, I didn't think about this, huh? I didn't think about this. So there is a logical problem. The logical problem is that we have a prerequisite. For example, the player that is in range of the event needs to have sword between 10 and 20, okay? That's a prerequisite, fine. Now the problem is that if I have and it is checked for every player in range. Now the problem is that if I have a prerequisite, if I have a prerequisite that is a skill in range, then it must be the only prerequisite. So I think we need to force, when we load the prerequisite, that if it contains a prerequisite in range, it must be the only one. I think there is no other solution. So prerequisite in range will be the only prerequisite that you are checking for that event. And so it means that we have to modify the code here and check if this prerequisite is containing, right? If it's containing Yes, because otherwise it will not work. And this means that we have to check it on loading as well, right? Or we just decided it's the way it is, but we need to change the code here to do that check. Otherwise, so I think that here I need to have check if we have a rank in range prerequisite. In this case, we sum up. Well, we can start from the first player and just go around him. I think is enough. We can give a range like of 10 meters or 20 meters. And we do it only for the first player then. We do it only for the first player that we find around that event, yes. I think it's probably the easiest. In this case we run the script. The problem is no, it should be in range of the event, because imagine having the event here, right? And having maybe players, you know, like this, right? Now, if we consider the range from the center of the event, right, like this, then we will skip all these players, right? If we consider randomly the center on one of the players, then we may be really too far away from the... No, it must be... No, the check must be done in range of the event. There is no way. Must be in range of the event. So this means that... in this case we need to sum up the results. But this means they will never work. Because at the moment we have a check, right? We have a check, and check is just checking on one player that is passing the check, but or we make a special, yeah, I think we need to make a special one. I think we need to have a special code completely separate from this, because we actually need we need to sum up, you know, because it's all summing up, right? Except for, yeah, it's all summing up. So we sum up skill, we sum up stats, we sum up. So we need to sum up the ranks of all the players, and I have no idea how to do this actually, because we will need to... I cannot just call prerequisite check, right? It's impossible. So we need to break this pattern of prerequisite check, because if I enter in prerequisite check, unless I can pass in an optional parameter of the players, maybe I can have two check, one which is a player and one that is an array of players. And the array of players, we use it only for yeah, it's a bit of a mess. It's a bit of a mess. Fuck. I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to do it, boys. I don't know how to do it. I don't know what is the best way to do it. Let me explain the problem to you again, because while I'm explaining it to you, I learn it myself. So our problem is that today we have a number of prerequisites, right? For example, we have a prerequisite skill, right, that is requiring a certain player to have between X and you know, greater than X and lower than Y, right? So it is basically the prerequisite skill. Now there may be other prerequisite. For example, there can be a prerequisite quest, right? And those are already working. So so a player must have completed, you know, quest X, right? And so on. Now we are adding a prerequisite which is very different, right? We are adding a prerequisite ranking range, and ranking range doesn't work anymore on a player, but works on the sum of the skills of all the players that are around the event location, right? So and it is really a problem. It is really a problem because first of all, I cannot reuse this code, right? Because this code is defining a prerequisite OP, right? A prerequisite OP that is generic, right? And this is this one. That is the father class. That is the father class from which all our prerequisites are inheriting, right? And so all of them have this mode of operation, and all of them have a check function, right? And the check function is just returning yes or no, based on a check you do on a player, right? Now the beauty of the system as it is now is that you can just, you know, run through all the prerequisites and you don't care what they are, and you're just calling check, 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 right? And is basically performing all the checks. In the case of our skill in range, ranking range, we are in a completely different mode, right? And we cannot call that function anymore. We cannot. So I think that we need a way. So the only possibility is I can still, if I want, I can still derive it from this guy, but at that point it's very useless. If you want, did I do it that way? In theory, I should extend. In theory, I should extend, you know, I should extend this guy, right, to allow a multiplayer check, right, based on a location. No, also not based on a location. I think I will provide the player list myself, right? So I can choose the players the way I want. For example, I can choose all the players in a group, or I can choose all the players in an alliance, or I can choose all the players in a guild, right? So I think I can provide the yeah. So I think we need to extend this. I mean, we can now So the difference, you know, is that we will pass in all the characters, we'll sum up the stuff for all the characters. So this will be basically multiplayer check, or multi-check, or multi-character check. I think this will be a multi-character check, or check multi-character. Yeah, maybe check multi-character. Right? Check multi-character will be a TRA of APS characters, right? And this will be called characters. So yes, I don't know why I have this open. Now, yeah, so we need this check multi-character. The only problem is when do we call check multi-character, right? When do we know that this particular script, I mean, this particular check is a multi-character check, right? We need to know it. We need to know it on loading, because otherwise this will not work, right? So we need to so we have a virtual. So for example, right, virtual bool is end OP, exactly. So I need the same. Yes, exactly. I need the same. Is multi-check, you know? Is this a check on multiple players, right? True if the check is on multiple players. So we can do that. I think it's reasonable. A smaller event for small players and a bigger event for strong one. Yeah, exactly. This scaling range is designed that way. So it's designed that if you have 5 people that are very strong, we can generate a stronger event, right? If you have 2 people that are not very strong, we can generate a smaller event. Yes. The guild house can buy some special random event? I don't know. What do you mean by buy? I don't think they can buy an event, but I mean, the point of this is that if you have a mob, you know, or if you have a monster, that monster may be spawning only if there are enough people, right? Not just in terms of number, but in terms of power, right? And I think that's a powerful tool to have in the game, because we can make things way more dynamic, right? Now, we may also say that the event is scaling based on the... That would probably be even better, to have the event scale on the number of players that you have, but that is way harder to do, right? Because it means that I have to do what? I have to create in the event kind of a scalable, I mean, a resizable monster. And how do you do that? I have no idea. I mean, we will have to invent the rule for that. That's way harder. This is already a good capability and is not too hard to implement. So, for example, we can have events that are spawning only for you know, end game players, right? So the players that have already maxed most of the skills, right? Yeah. Now it can also be one guy that has all the skills, huh? Okay, but I think it's good. I think it's good. I think it's good. So let me just see what happens if I compile this way. So if I compile this way, basically we extended this guy, right? And it's important that our is multi-check now is returning true for our prerequisite in range, right? So this one we'll have to say return true, so that we are declaring that we are a multi-check, right? I don't know what this guy is saying. Inherited member is not allowed. Why? Ah, really? You must override it? Ah, that's very annoying. Why you must? In the sense, I would like that to be the default, right? So you have to. What he wants? He wants. Wait. He wants check multi-character, eh? Yeah, because I declared that one as no, I can avoid equal to 0. Wait, can I avoid? If I avoid is equal to 0, I think this will not be required. So they will be required only if needed. Now the same for this. Yes, exactly. Now this means that for certain classes, right, that will fail. For certain classes that will fail. So for example, get script, right? Yeah, so I need an implementation. So yeah, I need an implementation. So if I don't declare it pure virtual, I need an implementation of this. Well, the only implementation I can have is or we do a trick. You know what could be a trick? The trick could be that we call check, but we pass an array here, right? We pass an array. So yes, we will have to change them all, but we will check only if Because that would be more powerful, huh? That would be more powerful. Instead of creating a separate function, I can use this function, pass in an array of PS character, right? And yes, I will have to change all the function of all the prerequisites, but I don't care. And this means that automatically this will be applicable to all. So for example, faction, right? If I pass a multi check, yeah, the problem is that it doesn't have meaning, you know, doesn't have meaning for the other ones, right? It only has meaning on the ranking range. It only has that meaning. But I think it's more powerful, right? Because in that case, we force. Yeah, I think I prefer it. I will have to change more stuff. Check the valid prerequisite for the players provided. If more than one player is passed. Yeah, I will have to change a million code, because basically it means that all my prerequisites are going to change and create an array of players and pass in multiple, I mean the array instead of the so I have to change so much code. If I do like this, I have to change so much code. So much. While if I do it this way, I only need to check it in one place, right? Something to run after the game, need more carrots. The mount is one, the guild house is another. Okay, the magic robe. Maybe. I'm thinking what is the best way to do it, but I'm struggling a bit to decide, because we have two possible ways. Or I put an array of characters inside check, and so this means that if for any reason I'm passing in multiple players, the check will verify them all unless is a multi-check, and if it's a multi-check, it will do kind of the sum of all of them, right? But no, I think it's probably a better idea to do it with a separate check. I think it's probably better to do it with a separate function. Now, the problem will be that when we run for checks, we check this. If we see that it is a multi-character, so this one by default returns true, huh? Which I know is very strange. I know it's strange, but I have no other way. So basically this one should never be called unless it's overridden, right? If it's not overridden, this one should never be called. And it should be called only if multi-check equal to true. So basically this allows us to keep the same framework, so we don't go crazy changing all the framework. But it is allowing us to have a function that accepts an array of right? So this means that in my random event, right? In my random event, what I can do is to check if my random event prerequisite is so if it's a multi check, then if it's a multi check, then we call right, we call check multi-character and we pass in players, right? So this will basically call the other function and decide if we are compliant or not based on the result of that. And this function will then, now this is obviously, if I do go to definition, obviously we will go to the further one, right? But in our case it will be it will be this one, right? And this one will not have check, will not have it. I mean, or it can have it returning true, but anyway, this one is never getting called in this format, right? This will never be called. Right, and so this one is a T array of this, right? And now this makes sense again. Right? What do you mean inheritance member is not allowed? What? 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 What do you mean? It's the same as this. What are you saying? Is and OP, right? So this one is what? It cannot be derived if it cannot be derived. Why not? Sorry, why not? Why not? Why not? Why I cannot wait. Inherited member is not allowed on a virtual function. Inherited member is not allowed, right? Because I need to declare it. I need to declare it. I need to declare it, huh? Yeah, I can declare. I mean, because it's not declared. Just because it's not declared. Okay, I forgot to declare it. Yeah, we need to declare it, obviously. We need to declare this one, and we need to declare also this one. Okay. No, I was scared for a second that it was not allowed for whatever reason, but no, it is allowed. So we just need to declare it. That's all. We just need to declare it. Okay, so basically now, yes, here based on the mode that we are operating, we will do different stuff, right? And I think like this, it already works. I mean, the framework is already the good framework. Right, so it's already working. It should be. I mean, the structure is okay. So here I just need to get back to my ranking range, right? And basically this mode, right? So I think I think we can switch on mode. And right. And so on, right? And so on. Now I don't know if I want to implement all the modes now, but I think it is a pretty powerful idea at the end, right? Because allows us to do a lot. I mean, allows us to do a lot of stuff. A lot of different checks, so it allows a lot of flexibility in the event setup. Now, if you ask me, are we really going to use all these different events set? I don't know. I don't know yet, right? If we are going to use all of this. Probably not, but okay, so if we, for example, if we are in mode 1, right? Mode 1 is specifying a skill to check. So what we want to take, so basically similar to this, right? Skill ID current. I think I can do a for loop outside of the switch, you know? I think I can do a for all the characters outside of the switch and then sum up what I need. No, because no, because the result I need to finish inside a case. So the case will determine so I think I need to for loop inside of this. So characters num, so so check if the sum up of ranks, check if the ranks is enough or something, right? So okay, so we'll have to change a bit documentation, but for example, if we can do it for the first case, we already be good. Okay, so for the first case, is pretty much identical to this, with the difference that I have to sum up, right? So skill value is for the specific character. So I will have to do characters of I, right? And I will have to do characters of I here as well in case it's not buffed. And I will get, yes, the skill value. But then I will not do this. I will finish the loop. So I will finish my for loop, right? And I will sum it up. I will have to sum it up. So I will have an int skill sum that can start at 0, and here I will do skill sum plus skill value, right? So we are summing up all the we sum up all the player values, and then I mean this check is okay. I mean this check is if max and skill sum is greater than max, if min and skill sum is less than min, otherwise return true, right? And at the moment the other cases I'm not gonna do. So here we return false. So this should already be able in theory to sum up the skill value of all the players in range that have been provided by this. So now the only problem is to read it, because at the moment we are not loading this particular prerequisite. So the load of this prerequisite is not Wait. Wait a second. Wait a second. No. Yeah. Because the loading is done in the parsing and is in a completely different place, I think. Let me just check. Where is it? There is a place. Yes, exactly here. Yes, there is a place where we are reading the new skill and we are creating the new skill. So we basically need to duplicate all of that. I don't know why the indentation just fucked up, but and this will be rank in range. Okay, so actually it will be called ranking range. So if ranking range is equal to 0, we will have first thing to read the mode, right? Because if we don't have the mode, now can we transform it directly? Get attribute. No, I need to convert it. I need to convert it, right? So to int. So this will be our mode, and I don't understand the name too much. Because it's the name of the skill. Okay, the name of the skill is fine. So that is the operating mode, right? That is the skill name. I don't know why it's called name, but anyway. Now this is not mandatory, right? So this is it was mandatory in the other function, but it's not mandatory in this function. So it can actually be empty, because skill works only for mode 1. If we are in mode 2, wait, maybe we can do this though. We can say if, if mode equal to 1, and name is empty, then we give an error, right? With mode 1 selected. For ranking range, prerequisite operation with mode 1 selected. Powerful enough to let you making hours and hours of programs. Yeah. Yes. No, I don't think it will take too much, but it's pretty powerful concept. I like the concept, so because it's very flexible, you can use it in many different ways, but we need to be sure that we are loading this. So we are loading the mode, we are loading the name of the skill. So let's say that if mode, wait, it's probably better to do this. If mode is equal to 1, then we check that the skill is actually not only available, but also not empty, right? So right now I don't understand too much. Because we are passing it here. Okay. Yeah, this one should be. You know what? I think we will just we just leave them empty at the beginning, and then we just set them later. I think is probably better. Okay, so here we check. here we say if mode 1, then check skill name, right? No, I don't know if I need to put this here or here, but because actually they are valid. Yeah, but probably it's more understandable like this. So if we are in mode 1, we are just checking that the skill is valid, and we pass it in, right? Yes. And then the minimum and maximum is the same, and the allow buffed is the same. And this will be our prerequisite, which is actually now the only difference is that we will have to create our prerequisite P ranking range, right? And this will take mode as well, so that's the difference compared to the other guy. Okay, so this should already be loading our prerequisite, right? And this means that if now we put a prerequisite here, right? And the prerequisite will be prerequisite rank in range, right? And then we say mode equal to 1, name sword, and minimum 10, maximum 20. Okay, let me buff it a bit. Let me buff it to, I don't know, 50, 100. Okay, in theory, this event will trigger only if the number of players that are in range of the event have a sum of their sword skill to be between 50 and 100. Insane, huh? Insane. Insane. Okay. Relax. Okay, because it's not working yet. Why? Initialization of skill sum. Initialization of skill sum is skipped by case label. Yes, but what is the problem? What does this mean? Initialization of skill sum is skipped by case label. You cannot have an initialization of something inside a case. What do you mean? What do you mean? I want to have it this way, you know? It's not possible? It is possible. Okay, good. So, okay, let me think what is going to happen, okay? What is going to happen is that now I need to I don't know. Okay, let's run it. Let's run it and put some breakpoints. Okay, so we need a breakpoint here that is actually loading the prerequisite, and then we need a breakpoint when it's executing the check, right? And we need a breakpoint when the random event manager is actually going here, right? And we need 2 players. Well, we can also do it with 1, but I think it's funnier. I mean, it's nicer if we do it with 2 players, right? Because it proves the point. Now, 1 player can still be enough, right? So it's not a problem to have only 1 player. But the idea is that the overall sum of skill. So, for example, you can put a sum of skill of, I don't know, 3,000, right? Okay, it's loading it now, right? It's loading it now. Meanwhile, let me launch another client. It's loading it now. And let me see if it's reading the mode properly. Yes, our mode is 1. Then it's going here. It's checking Sword. It's putting the skill into Sword. So all of this is the same code. So it cannot fail. And now we have our prerequisite. Okay, so we created our ranking range prerequisite. Perfect. Now, I'm not sure 100% that I'm setting the mode. Yeah, but I'm setting the mode. No, that's good. That's good. That's good. So, actually, it loaded it properly. Now we want to log in with 2 characters. With 2 different characters, right? We want to log in with 2 different characters. One character... And then we will set, we are game masters, so we can do whatever we want, right? So we can change our skills, we can do whatever we want. Now, let me set my skill. The event will trigger immediately. No! Wait, what is my sword level? 100? No. Set me skill sword 1. No. Set me... What? Skill is not a supported attribute. Set skill. Wait. Set skill... the event will trigger. Set skill me sword 1. Okay, nice. And I need to do the same with the other guy. Okay. So, in theory now we have both of us... we triggered already. Fuck. We triggered already. Okay, anyway. Nearby players. Number of players 1. Multi-check. Switch mode. Skill. Skill value 1. Okay. Did we time out? We didn't time out. Nice. It didn't trigger. So, it's exactly what we wanted. He saw only 1 player around. And it didn't trigger. Right? So, okay, let me teleport. Drum roll. So, we are 2 players now. Okay, we are 2 players. But the sum of our skills is still very low. Is only 1, right? We have 1 in sword each. Okay, so now the event should trigger again. And I want to see if he's considering the 2 players. Yes, now we have the 2 players. But the sum is still not enough, right? The sum is still not enough. Because the sum is actually 2. So the event is not triggering, you see? There is no NPC. There is no NPC spawning, right? Now we will set my skill to be 30. My sword will be 30. And Eduna there will be 30 as well. So the sum will be 60, which is enough to trigger the event, right? Which is enough to trigger the event. So now I want the event to trigger again. And we want to see if we actually get the NPC spawned, right? And I think we will. Now, we only did mode 1, but anyway. We can do the other modes. I mean, now the structure is in place, so... Okay, let's wait. Let's wait that the event triggers. Come on. Okay, trigger now. Multi-check. The sum is 60. And so... Okay. It didn't work. The sum is 60. If max, wait, I said that the max is what? I said between 50 and 100, right? 50 and 100. So it should absolutely trigger. You should absolutely trigger, boys. 100%. Compliant equal to true. What? What the? Where is the NPC? What? I think something else went wrong, because actually the event is running. But something else happened, because I think something else happened, because you see that it's not triggering again, and it's not triggering again because I think that the event is running, but for some reason we don't see the NPC. Why? It didn't spawn, huh? Why it didn't spawn? It didn't spawn. Did I mess up something else? Maybe I messed up something else, because the check worked. The check worked. But the check worked, but the event didn't. Let me see server side, triggering event. Yeah, you see, triggering event. Yes. It triggered. He actually triggered. Spawning NPC 1 in Sector Idle Plaza. What the fuck? Why I don't see the NPC? What? Interesting. What? What the fuck? Ah, no, wait a second, because in reality I'm not. No, this is not the right log. This is not the right log. This is not the right log. Triggering PS random event ID 1. Delay. Triggering PS random event ID 2. What? Why event 2 is not triggering anymore? I don't know, something happened, boys. Something strange happened and basically didn't work. Okay, let's do it again. Something happened and we didn't. Let me just check from the code if I'm doing something stupid. I'm saying if the prerequisite is multi-check, So if there is no prerequisite, we are compliant through automatically. If this is the mistake. What is this break? What is this break? Yeah, that's a mistake, boys. I found it. I found it. I found it. So in theory now it will work, I think. I think now it will, boys. Now it will. Hello, Fergus. Is the NPC in the same spot the character are? No, because he moves. No, there was a mistake. There was a mistake. I copied this, but there was a break, and so the break here was actually exiting from the 4, and it was basically not executing the start of the event. So it's exactly as expected. So it's normal that it didn't work. It's normal that it didn't work. Now it will work, you know? And I'm not even launching in debug mode. I'm launching it normally because I know that it will work. I know 100% it will work. Now, I think we need a smart way to cache the skills of players, because if we do this check many times, you know, it may not be the best idea. Let me just check what is my skill now. I have 30, so this guy has 30 and I have 30. So as soon as I log in, it's still loading because two clients is a bit heavy, but okay. So now the sum of our sword skill is 60. And now I want to see the NPC spawning, huh? Tack, there it is. A beautiful Kleros 1.5 inside. Hello. You're very tall, my friend. Okay, you see, it worked. So basically now we have the yeah, so now we have the possibility to specify. Now there is only one constraint that I didn't put yet into the engine, which is by the way, this guy so tall is a bit scary. It looks like a ghost in this mode. Why stop there? No idea. In theory, should have not stopped there, but fine. So there is still one problem though, that if I specify a ranking range together with another prerequisite, so for example is ranking range blah 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 and ranking range blah blah blah, it will not work, because at the moment we are checking that the first prerequisite is a multi-check, and if you do one and the other, you create an and/or prerequisite, which is a different prerequisite, so that will not work. But I don't think we care. I don't think we care. I think we can just say that. So if we go under operations, Quest script operations, no. Prerequisites. Prerequisites, no. Prerequisites. No, but we have them documented, no? We don't have the prerequisite documented. GG. No, I think we have them. Maybe we have them under quest and not under quest script operation. Require. Really, we don't have the prerequisite listed? Cannot believe it. I think we don't have them. We don't have on the wiki a prerequisite list for quest. That's very strange. Okay, it's not documented. I mean, it's not documented in the wiki. It's documented in the code. But in theory, we have all these prerequisites. We have faction, gender, guild, item, known spell. Let me search for known spell, for example. Known spell. No, it seems that the prerequisites are not documented. Strange, huh? I'm searching different keyword on the wiki to see if we know, but we don't. No. We need to document them. For sure. Someone is stuck on the state again. Why? Okay. We need to document those, but at the moment, so we did only mode 1, okay? We did mode 1, but we can do now that we have the structure in place, you know, doing mode 2, mode 3 and mode 4 is fairly easy. We just sum up, you know, all the skills in the same way. We check for allow buffed. Now I think it would be nice to probably cache this kind of, you know, at the moment it's to do. I will do it. I don't know when, but I will do it. Right? But at least at the moment we can check for a specific skill in range. In cases mode 2, it will sum up all physical and mental stats in range. So that is a bit, yeah, that's kind of a bit. Is a bit, I mean, power intensive, because we basically have to, for every character, we need to check 6 skills, and for each of the 6 skills, we need to check if they are boosted or not boosted, right? So imagine that you have 20 characters in range. You know, if you have 20 characters in range, you will have to. But anyway, I think it's good. It starts to be a bit late. It's after midnight. I don't know if I want to implement this once, but it will not take too long. It will not take too long. Implementing this is probably like maximum 1 hour. But I would say it's probably half an hour, but then it takes 1 hour because you need to test it, right? You need to log in with the different characters and just test it. I just don't know if I want to. I just don't know if I want to do this allow buffed, because here I will basically have to. I will have to loop, right? I will have to loop on all the skills of a character, and at the moment, you know, the skills of a character are quite a number. Right, so we have whatever 60 or 70. We have 70 skills, so there will be 70 skills that we need to check for buffed and not buffed. So I'm thinking that if we want to do this, you know, the best would probably be to cache that value on the character whenever a skill is changed, right? It's so much easier. I mean, it's so much faster than summing up all the time, right? All the skills. So we can just say, we can just add a new variable on character and to say what is the, right, what is the current buffed and not buffed. Now we will have to change it every time we equip an item or every time we de-equip an item, because obviously items can affect, and we will also have to do it every time we cast a spell, because a spell can influence you, and every time we drink a potion or we eat something, because those can also influence your stats and skills. So let's say that, but there is probably, I think I can just do it when we are buffing the, I think I can just do it in buffable. Buffable is a class that is keeping track of all the skills, and so probably inside set base, or maybe even inside on change. Yeah, because buffable is then subclassed by skill, I think, right? Skill info. No? Why? Only vitals, only stats? No, don't believe it. I don't believe that. Vital buffable. Yeah, vital buffable. No, but it's possible for sure. I don't know why. Probably there is another part of the code that does it. I don't know why skill info. Probably because skill info is the skill definition. It's not the character skill, right? The character skill is probably inside skill set. This is having an array of skill ability. Let me see, skill ability. No, but I need to go on PS character, but to find that we need to go on PS character. But I think will be an easy way. I think there would be an easy way. I just need to find it, but skill cache. Skill cache. I think skill cache can be the one. Skill stats buffable. There it is. There it is. Exactly. So this one you see, and this one has an on change. This seems to be the single entry point when a status skill is changed. Exactly. So we could, you know, keep this value. If the character and is a player and is ready, we went through the first calculation. If you can change its skill. Change its skill equal to skill buffable. Change skill add. Get receive buffable skill back. Yeah, I have to revisit this, but I think that this is what. This is pretty much. It is pretty much the function that we can use to set a global variable that is keeping track of all the skills and all the stats, buffable and not buffable. And we can then use that one, right, to do our check. Okay, guys, I think we did a good thing. So we basically, we didn't fully implement it, but we implemented at least one mode of ranking range. I think the way I did it is fairly lean. Is not making the code. I mean, it didn't require me to change a lot of code, right? We basically created a parallel possibility for a prerequisite to be a multi-check, a multi-character check. So we can reuse this mode later on if we need to have additional multi-character checks as prerequisite, right? So in theory, in the future, for example, if we will allow quests to be done by multiple people together, this one would be a good way, right? And probably the list will be the people in a group, right? So all the people in a group doing a quest. We can use a similar technique. Obviously, it's not exactly like this. I mean, we require quite some work, but this is the foundation of checking multiple players for a certain condition, right? And yes, and then executing whatever you need. I think it's good. Simple enough, you know. It's simple enough. And it does the job. Okay. Why YouTube is giving me an error? But anyway, I think we are still connected. Are we still on? Anyway, I'm gonna go, so I will see you tomorrow evening, okay? So if you want to click a follow on Twitch and subscribe on YouTube, that would be nice. And also, if you want to... my eyes are so fucked up. And if you also want to go to patreon.com/planeshift, you can join and test the alpha of the game right now, in case you are interested in testing the alpha. Hey, Played Arkian, thank you for the follow. And yeah, see you tomorrow evening. I will be streaming again tomorrow at 9:30 my time, 9:30 in the evening, Central European time. Okay. With that, I'm going, and have fun. Have a good night. Test the game. Test the game if you can. See you, boys. Bye bye.